So I will first request Guru Maharaj, Guru Maharaj, and to give us his words.
वर्णानाम अर्थसंघानाम रसानां छंदसामपि मंगलानां च कर्तारौ वंदे वाणी विनायकौ नमामि सद्गुरुं शांतं सच्चिदानंद विग्रहं पूर्ण ब्रह्म परानंदम ईशम आनंदी वल्लभम. In the afternoon session, we listened to Ram Madhavji's speech, where he compared Eastern humanism and Western humanism. The Western idea of humanism is itself a very imperfect idea. In our thought, how Indian rishis think, the human personality is not only the physical personality. We believe we read about five-fold personality: the Annamaya Kosh, the Pranamaya Kosh, Manomaya Kosh, Vijnanamaya Kosh, and Anandamaya Kosh. These are the 5 layers of personality, and when compared to this depth, the Western angle has got so many shortcomings. And therefore, I congratulate India Foundation to give the theme of Eastern humanism. It has got a significant meaning. Unless you know the Eastern ideas, and especially the Bharatiya Sankalpanas, you can never understand what human life really is. And as we go into the depth, the physical body is Annamaya Kosh. The vital prana, which does the metabolism, is Pranamaya Kosh. Our feelings are Manomaya Kosh. Then our thinking is Jnanamaya Kosh, Buddhi. And then our experience of happiness or joy is called the Anandamaya Kosh. If Eastern humanistic view is to be taken, then ultimately it leads us to the oneness of the whole existence. And then we feel we have to accept that we are not disconnected. We are disconnected apparently, but essentially we are one. The oneness of the whole existence is what the Bharatiya rishis want to lead us to. And in this respect, when we come to Dharma and Dhamma, much light is thrown. Today, for 2,500 years, Bhagavan Buddha's thought has reached every nook and corner of the world. And day by day, the popularity is increasing because of its simplicity, because of its liberality, and because of its walking with the time. Really speaking, Dharma and Dhamma, are they two ideas? Are they different? I have tried to find the difference between them. But really speaking, the difference is only, according to me, verbal. The words are different, but the essence is the same. And therefore, in Pali we call Dhamma, in Sanskrit we call Dharma, but they are two different names of the same thing. This is the mischief of so many colonial scholars, that they have tried to take Pali away from Sanskrit, that they have tried to give more emphasis on the differences in spite of the similarities that these both ideas have got. And therefore, let us first see what are the similarities. Bhagavan Buddha, he has, after his enlightenment, whatever he has told, it is not much different from the Vedas. First thing I must say, Dhamma comes from Vedas. It stands for the Vedic tradition. And Dharma stands for the Vedic tradition, comes from Vedas. Dhamma stands for the Buddhistic tradition. That is what we understand. Now, this flow of Dharma and Dhamma, both have accepted the principle of karma. Karma, Bhagavan Buddha has given much emphasis on karma only. Karma Siddhant, when it is accepted, automatically it's come to the principle of rebirth. Karma Siddhanta is accepted, the principle of karma or kamma is accepted in both the flows, in both the traditions. The idea of rebirth or reincarnation, it also exists in both the traditions. Then Bhagavan Buddha gives much emphasis on Satya. According to him, Satya is the soul of Dhamma. Our whole behavior must be based upon Satya. And when we come to Vedic tradition, in Mahabharata, Kyusideka padam dharmyam, Kyusideka padam swargyam, the Yaksha asks, tell me the whole Dharma in one word which leads to the heaven. And Dharmaraj says, Satyam eka padam swargyam. It is Satya only. Satyan nasti paro dharmaha. Everywhere in Dhammapada and everywhere in Buddhist tradition, you will find this emphasis on Satya. Again, the idea of Panchashila, Ahimsa, Satya, Asteya, Brahmacharya, Asangraha. Actually, in the same sequence, we find it in Bhagavan Patanjali. We find all this in Bhagavad Gita and the Upanishads. And therefore, the idea of Panchashila, the discourse on Panchashila, they are there in Dharma, in Dhamma also. Coincidentally, Bhagavan Buddha doesn't believe in Brahma or Ishvara. That's okay. But he has always used the word Maya. Though Brahma is not there, but the Maya is there, and the Maya covers our knowledge. That is what he has told everywhere. And therefore, this Maya must be done away with. The highest similarity in both the tradition is, which is very important, both the traditions are non-aggressive. We must learn in these days to divide the faiths which are aggressive and the faiths which are non-aggressive. All faiths that have sprung from Bharata, they are non-aggressive. And Bhagavan Buddha's Dhamma is non-aggressive. They have never made any aggression upon anybody. Both give emphasis on Madhyama Marga, the Santulan, the balance, avoid the extreme, the way of golden mean. This Bhagavan Buddha said everywhere, and Bhagavan Shri Krishna also, Yuktahara Viharasya, Yukta Chestasya Karmasu, Athava Samatvam Yoga Uchyate. What is yoga? Yoga is just balance. And therefore, there are so many equal things in both the traditions. I don't say they don't differ anywhere. They do differ. But the difference is also having some reason. Bhagavan Buddha saw in his time, people are fumbled. They are overburdened because of two things. One thing is much more of ritualism. Much more of ritualism that becomes tedious. One thing. And much more of rationalism, reasoning, the philosophical discussions. Bhagavan Buddha gave us, Tathagat Bhagavan Buddha gave us a simple way to come out of this rut. And therefore, he emphasized upon the moral values, Satya, Ahimsa, Karuna. He gave the 4 Arya Satyas and Ashtanga Marga. The very beautiful word he has used is samyak, proper. Your ahar, your food must be proper. Your behavior must be proper. Your talk should be proper. Your livelihood should be proper. In this way, he has used the same word which Bhagavan Shri Krishna has used in Bhagavad Gita as yukta. And therefore, this discourse of Bhagavan Buddha, his all doctrines are full of simplicity. He has given the best moral way and in the simple most verse. One very big difference is Bhagavan Buddha has kept man in the center of thinking, while Dharma appears to be setting the scriptures in the center of thinking. It is Veda Pramanya or Shastra Pramanya, what Dharma says and gives emphasis upon. And when we come to Bhagavan Buddha, no authority. Nobody is to be listened. Listen to all. But Attadipo Bhava, you think for yourself. He always said, I am not there to emancipate you. I am not there to give you moksha. I am Marga Data, not to Moksha Data. This is a very big difference then about Ishwar and about Atma Tattva. So many times he kept mum. He did not say anything, and there are utterances are there because Buddhistic literature is so vast that reading whole Buddhistic literature in one life it may be possible for you scholars, but very difficult for anybody, any common man. But I have read Dhammapada so many times. I have published it myself. And I have always been a devotee to Bhagavan Buddha. When I went to Lhasa, people ask me, we want to give you some gift. You please choose. And I told, this Bhagavan Buddha's Murti I want. That Murti I am adoring, worshipping even today in my ashram. So, there are differences, no doubt. But these differences are meager. Really speaking, such differences are always there in Dharma Vichar. It's not only Bhagavan Buddha who has given something new, avoiding Veda Pramanya, the authority of Veda. We see Bhagavan Jaina, Mahavir also. Not only that, we see Kanad. Kanad never believed in Ishwar. He said, no, the world has been not created by Ishwar or God. It is atom. Pilavaha, Pilavaha, Pilavaha. The world has come out of Anu only, atoms. In our tradition, we have got Bhagavan, Sant Kabir. Sant Kabir Das, he defied the authority of Vedas. He defied Murti Puja, no idol worship. But yet we accept him as a great saint in our tradition. And therefore, in the Indian Bharatiya flow of culture, it's not a new thing. There are differences of opinion, and we don't only tolerate them, we accept them, we think of them, and we rejoice. We study with all honor and with all respect. But the writings of some modern people from West, they have created such an atmosphere that they are antagonistic. We are antagonistic to none, really speaking. In Gaudapada Karika, it appears people may have conflict, people may have differences, and they may quarrel with each others. We don't have any quarrel with anybody. Parasparam viruddhante, tair ayam na viruddhate. That is our viewpoint. One important thing is, though the idea of samatva, equality, is there in Vedas, also in Bhagavad Gita, but practical equality, if anybody has brought on earth, it is only Bhagavan Buddha who has brought practical equality on earth. He went beyond all the differences of caste, creed, gender, and anything. And therefore, today, what is required is the give and take of Dharma and Dhamma. We must come together. As within a family also, there are some differences. There may be some differences of opinion, but yet the feeling of oneness is there. We are together here, and if we think in the correct way, we can prove to the world that Dharma plus Dhamma is Vishwa Dharma. It alone can be the faith of the whole world. And what should we learn from Bhagavan Buddha? Make your teachings very simple. Bhagavan Buddha made all his teachings very simple. He never went into critical arguments, and he always stopped. Then so many times he says, whatever I have told, let it be told. But whatever I have not told, let it be in disguise. Then one important thing is, when society goes astray because of the ritualistic religion and the terse logical philosophical arguments, then somebody must be there to guide the common man. That was done by Bhagavan Buddha. One thing, the idea of Shunya also. The idea of Shunya and the idea of Nirvana. All Western scholars have misinterpreted the idea of Shunya. The idea of Shunya, the word Shunya, does not appear in Buddhistic literature only. In Nath Sampradaya, it is used hundreds of times. And Nagarjuna himself has clarified that it is not nothingness. What is Brahma of Vedas? It is Shunya of Bhagavan, Buddha. And when this is said by Nagarjuna, it carries much meaning. Sarvalambana dharmescha, sarvatatvai rasheshataha, sarvaklesha ishe shunyam, na shunyam paramarthataha, na shunyam paramarthataha. It is very important. Everywhere, this idea of shunya is misinterpreted. Accordingly, the idea of nirvana also is misinterpreted. The idea of nirvana is again the idea of, see, you will find this word in Bhagavad Gita also, Brahma Nirvana Mrichyati. In Shunya, the abhav of world is there, but not abhav of mind. I am there, and therefore, Nirvana is the state where you are in total peace. You are in total peace, not only you are in total peace, but you disappear and peace and bliss are there. That idea of nirvana, Bhagavan Buddha has stated, and by so many his utterances, it can be proved. Friends, when we are here, one more thing I have to say. If Dhamma also is, there is a difference between Dharma and Dhamma again. Dhamma is more ascetic. It is for tapasya. It is for nirvana. But when invaders come and they use their strength to destroy the pure people, to destroy the good people, then some resistance is required. And that resistance we find in Bhagavan Sri Ram. That sense of resistance we find in Bhagavan Sri Krishna. And therefore, Dhamma plus power to resist becomes Dharma. That is my equation. It will be. If we don't use it today, see, the existence of Dharma and Dhamma both shall be questionable in next generation. And therefore, we must be strong. We must worship. Because after so many teachings of so many people and so many great souls, the world today is on the brink of world war. And everywhere we see, struggle is there. And if we are to live and if we are to propagate the people, we must be strong. And we can be strong only if we combine Dharma and Dhamma together. Otherwise, going back to history, we must think. Why Nalanda University was destroyed? It was invaded. You must know, it was not Bhagavan Shankaracharya who drove away Buddhism out of Bharat. It was the invasion of the Mughals. Bhagavan Shankaracharya, really speaking, refuted the Mimamsakas. But the sword of the invaders who destroyed Nalanda University and massacred thousands and thousands of bhikkhus, what shall you do for them? Only teachings won't suffice. And therefore, somewhere we must take the Kodanda Dhanusha of Sri Ram also, the Sudarshan Chakra of Bhagavan Sri Krishna also, to protect Dhamma and Dharma together and the humanity together. That shall be a requirement. And we should be aware, one more thing, we should beware of the colonial scholars who are always trying to break India by giving wrong thinking, by misleading us. And if we are to protect ourselves on these two fronts, we must keep coming together, we must live together, we must pray together, and we must make our Bharatvarsha and Bhagavan Buddha's Dhamma great together. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayaha, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhaved. That is what our traditional saints said, and that is what our Dhaneshwar Maharaj said. Bhuta paraspare jado maitra jivache. Let us all be friends, let us all be brothers, and let a dawn of universal brotherhood arise, a new dawn that shall make coming generations more blissful and more peaceful. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Swamiji. That was a very enlightening and at the same time invigorating talk. Dharmo rakshate rakshataha.